As a Jew living in America, I look at Democratic and Republican candidates the same way. I always ask myself the question, who is the best candidate for America? And what does it mean to be the best candidate for America? Well, that obviously gets down to some personal choices about how you think America should continue to lead in the world and how you think domestic policy should be developed over time. That's a personal choice. But in my opinion, the best candidate for America is someone who can be a good, articulate advocate and make the case for America and democracy and freedom around the world. Someone who can ensure that America stays involved in foreign policy and doesn't retrench and become isolationist. I think that candidate is a person who can be a good ambassador for America. I think it's a candidate who understands the security threats and the emerging security threats of a radical Islam that poses not only to America but also to Europe, which is, as Islam sweeps across Europe, what does that mean to America? What does that mean to democracy? And how can one differentiate between radical Islam and more peaceful Islam? And I think a good candidate for America is someone who understands the security threats, someone who has a vision for America, somebody who can articulate the needs, the domestic needs, which is a focus on making sure America stays in its leadership position in the world, which means a continued investment in education. I think we're looking for a candidate, hopefully, who can wean us off our oil dependence and put forth alternative energy investments and make it a very clear policy. I think we're looking for someone who understands the balance between taxing citizens but also giving tax relief. So when to pose that, and I think we need to be looking at right now, we're in a period of time where America is a budget deficit. We are spending a considerable amount of money fighting a war in Iraq, and maybe it is a time to look at our tax policy and look at how we're going to increase revenues. If tax cuts will yield a greater budget, well then let's figure out how to implement that. But I think we need to look solidly at each candidate, look at their individual records in the past, and hopefully we're looking for a candidate who's got experience to lead America in some of the challenging times that I see that we're going to be facing in the coming years.